Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I'm the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm female business leaders with the strategies they need to master the one rule of career success so they can live life on their terms, a legend life. Well, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, right? We're in that week. It's the season. Next week is Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa in advance. Although I'll be joining you next week. Hopefully you'll be joining me. But it is holiday season. I've got my fun. I'm dressed down a little bit. If you have watched any of my social media posts, you know that I love t-shirts. I love long sleeve t-shirts. I love it better than anything else. Those are like, those are comfort to my soul. I love t-shirts, long sleeve t-shirts. That is when I am most comfortable. So I had to pull out the seasonal Vineyard Vines shirt here with the candy cane print on it and be a little festive in my green today for all of you since this is the week of festivities. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. As you know, though, I say it's holiday season, but for us, it's another type of season, right? It's preparation season. We're in the midst of preparing for 2023. Why? Because we're high achievers. Why? Because we want next year to be an amazing year. And we know that who's in control of that? We're in control of that, right? I'm in control of it for me. You're in control of it for you. So instead of life, happening to us, it's going to happen for us. The way that we make sure that happens is that we prepare. And that's what we're doing. So last week you took some time and you did a self-assessment. It's the one time that we're going to look backwards, right? That's what we agreed on. It's the 1 week that we're looking backwards because this week and next week we're looking forward. All right? So this week, what did I just say? We're looking forward. So hopefully you took the time to do that self-assessment. If you missed last week, please go grab the workbook. Please take the time to take a look at what you've done. Learn the lessons that you were meant to learn in 2022 so you do not have to try to learn them again in 2023. You and I both know that the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, right, whatever you believe, will ensure that if there's a lesson you've got to learn, life's going to keep happening, right, for you until you learn that lesson. So let's go ahead and learn it now. And the way that you make sure you've learned it is take a little time for self-reflection, appreciation, and celebration. So you've done that. If you haven't, go ahead, get the workbook, listen to last week's episode, and get it done. Because this week, we are all about setting our targets for 2023. We're going to go ahead and cast our vision. We're going to be visionaries this week. We're going to define what it looks like. And I told you when we kicked off the month that this is the perfect week to do this. Why? Because you're already feeling gratitude in your heart. You're already getting excited for the time that you're going to spend with family and the excitement that you're going to see in the eyes of your children and the fun that you're going to have, the memories that you're going to make with your parents potentially, your friends, family, loved ones, all the people that matter to you. Hopefully you're going to have the opportunity to make memories with, right? And so this is natural excitement and this joy. And what I want you to do is I want you to take that emotion that already exists inside of you and I want you to use it to set your targets for next year. Okay? So what does that mean? Here's what you're going to do. I'm not going to make this a long episode because I know you got things to do and you got people to celebrate with. So let's get down to work, okay? Get the workbook. If you haven't, the workbook. I'm going to say it 1,000 times because you're going to be able to work through this in the workbook, but this is the work you're going to do. I want you to think to yourself and answer this question. It is a year from now. This time next year. We're about to be a couple days into the holidays. We're almost there. We're almost into Christmas. We're celebrating Hanukkah. If you celebrate Hanukkah, right? We're still sitting in this part of the season in December. And you and I are lucky enough, I am lucky enough to sit down with you and look at you and say, oh my gosh, it's such a pleasure to grab this cup of coffee or tea or hot chocolate or whatever it is that we're sharing. You make that up, right? It's your vision. I say that to you and I'm like, I'm so lucky to be able to sit down and have this conversation with you. Tell me, how has this year been for you? Tell me all about 2023. What has happened? And you look at me and you say, Katrina, 2023 has been the best year of my life. It's been the best year of my life. It has been so amazing. And I'm smiling at you like I'm smiling right now. If you're watching me on video, you can see me smiling at you. And I'm smiling at you and I'm so excited for you. And I'm like, really? That's so amazing. Tell me why 2023 has been so great. What has happened this year to make it the best year of your life? And then you start telling me. So tell yourself now, grab a piece of paper, grab the workbook, and answer that question. You're sitting here, it's a year from now, it's been the best year of your life. What are all the things that have happened? What's happened to you professionally? What's happened to you personally? What are things that you've achieved? What are things that you've experienced? What are memories that you've made? What contributions have you set forward? Have you volunteered? Have you given money? Have you started a new business maybe? Have you welcomed a new life into the world? Have you celebrated someone else's life? What has happened? Maybe you got married. Maybe you got divorced. What's happened? Write it down. Personally and professionally, you got to have both. You're a whole human. So we've got to write out the whole picture. All the things. And it can't happen in 2 or 3 minutes. I want you to take at least 10 minutes. And I want you to cast this vision of what 2023 is going to look like. You're watching this movie and you're watching everything that's already happened. What has happened? Feel it. Get excited about it. Live it. Jot it down. And then after you do all of that, and if you want to pause me right now and come back to me, do it. It's even better. After you do all of that, what I want you to do is then I want you to answer these next questions. What will it mean to you if all of these things happen? What will it mean? I know that you're telling me it's the best year of your life, but what does that mean? How will you feel? Why must 2023 be the best year of your life to date? Why is that a must? What's it going to feel like for you? What's it going to mean to your family, your kids? Right? What's it going to mean? Take the time to list all of that out. Write. Write for as long as you need to write, but really experience that. And then last but not least, I already called it out and you already know because you've done it. You spent last week thinking about and doing that self-assessment. And you may have found a couple of things that you didn't quite achieve. And the only reason that you didn't get there is because you held yourself back, or you had some fear, you had a little bit of doubt, or you let other priorities get in the way. You were a little human, right? And so what I want you to do for 2023 is I want you to look at everything that you listed. I want you to look at why that must happen and what it's going to mean to you and what it's going to mean for those you love. What it's going to mean for the company that you work for even, right? Because you're going to have impact there too. But then the next question I want you to answer is, what resources, tools, accountability, community, support, what are all the things that you need around you and with you in order to ensure that 2023 happens, right? What's that insurance look like to you? What are some things that you probably should have done, right? You're telling yourself, I should have done this, right? And we're not going to beat ourselves up for it for 2022. There's no room for that. We're celebrating 2023. There's no room for beating ourselves up. We're not going to damage our momentum. We're building great positive momentum here. We're not going to slow it down. But if you look back and you're like, I could have gone faster. I could have gone further. I could have. I'm not going to do that in 2023. I'm going to solve for that by partnering with this group. I'm going to take this program, or I'm going to learn how to exec correctly, right? Or I'm going to learn how to master executive leadership. I'm going to get into a community of like-minded women. I'm not going to hide, right? I'm not going to keep isolating myself because everybody goes through this. I'm not the only one. And I'm not going to blame myself for something I am not at fault for. I'm just growing and learning like everyone else, right? You're looking at your list. You've acknowledged some of those things already that happened to you this year. What are the tools, resources, accountability groups, communities, coaches, strategic partners, things that you need to go ahead and put in your life that you're going to commit to so that you can make sure that 2023 is exactly all the things that you've listed out that it's going to be. Okay? It's like you're going to bake a cake and you're making a list of all the ingredients and you're making a list of all the tools, the mixer, right? The spoons, the bowls, all the resources and the tools and the utensils that you need to make the cake. You've got all the components, right? You got the flour and the sugar and all those things. That was your list of what's going to happen. And you've got the cake and you know what flavor it's going to be and the icing and how beautiful, and you've got all those details there. But now you've got to put together all the utensils and tools to help make the cake. That's what I'm asking you to list out in this last question. Okay? Take the time to do that. Grab your favorite holiday beverage, sit down with your journal or workbook, whichever one you choose. Grab the workbook, even if you don't fill it out in there, grab it and read all the questions so that you get all the questions right. Because I'll put a few more in there, as I always do. And then go to work. Cast your vision for 2023. We're going to make this thing happen. All right? And then definitely, please, and I've said it about 5 times now, I'm going to say it one more time. Please get the workbook. I'm going to use the resources and the information that you share with me when you download the workbook for free to share with you some upcoming resources starting in January that are going to help you achieve your vision and your musts for 2023, okay? I want to share that with you. If you're interested in learning more and getting access to those resources, grab the workbook so I can make sure I get it to you. Fair enough? All right? I love it. Go have a wonderful, wonderful time with your family, with your friends, with your work colleagues, with yourself. All right, I wish you nothing but the best this holiday season. Go enjoy yourself. I will see you next week where we take everything that you've worked on this week and we start putting it into action. And we get you a little ahead of the curve here in preparation season. As always, go and be legendary.